In a garden in County Clare on the west coast of Ireland, a group of artists have come together to bring you a programme like no other. A music show featuring the best of independent musical talent this fair land has to offer. Why would we do such a thing? Are we mad? Have we lost the run of ourselves entirely? No. We're sharing the joy we feel when we sing our songs, and all we ask is that you sit back, relax and enjoy the next hour of your life. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the West's Away.
Well, I may have met all of you, I may not. I'm Orla, and first off we're going to talk to the fantastic Rynne. I think the first thing I want to really get across from listening to your music and from listening to your story is you come from a place of emotion. I think when you choose your songs, you said to me last week, sure, why would I write a song? All the good ones have already been written. And it hit a thought with me.
Yeah.
So how do you choose the songs that you're going to take and make yours and then share?
Sometimes it's a line in a song that will jump out at me and I'll just immediately, I have to learn that song. And another time it might be just the whole song, or there might be an emotion in it that I like, and the air I like, and it's kind of hard to answer that question. But I think really what's important, if I can just motor on, as they say, I can't believe that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm a very late comer to this fantastic scene, if you like, and I just think it's very important because the world is in such a very kind of a, what would I call it? Just very fractured and very hurt. There's an awful lot of hurt out there at the moment, and I think that people like me and other artists, we kind of have a duty to sing our songs wherever we can, because I am absolutely amazed at the ability to calm people down and to help people to get away from the world, and to help myself to get away from the world, from things that are going on in my life. And it's just, I never really understood the magic of music until I started seriously, even though I come from a musical family, and I just never understood the magic of it, and it is just wonderful.
So it's like a light switch when you took ownership of music for yourself.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's burning bright up there somewhere. Yeah.
We were discussing just before we started that you have a song that you go to calm yourself into performing.
I have indeed, yeah.
And I think you're going to do that first, so
I'd love to.
I'll let you introduce it.
Thanks very much, and good evening everybody, and thanks a million for coming. It's just so great to be here and to be doing this. This is a song that was written by my brother Barry Moore, aka Luca Bloom, who has been a huge mentor to me, and who actually, it's all his fault that I'm doing this. He handed me this guitar about 4 years ago and said, I am not giving you this guitar, I'm loaning you this guitar for 50 years on condition that you play it every day. And it has completely turned my life around. So, this is a song called Be Still Now, and I hope you like it. I walked along the western shore one bright November day. I watched a heron watching me, thought I heard her say, just be still now for a while, let life come to you. Just be still now, all your dreams are on the breezes passing through. I walked along the city streets, wished that I could fly. I watched a heron watching me, thought I heard heard her sigh. Just be still now for a while. Let love come to you. Just be still now, all your dreams are on the breezes passing through. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Just be still now for a while. Let love come to you. Just be still now, all your dreams are on the breezes passing through. Just be still now, just be still.
I can see why you use that song to calm you down. It's a beautiful softness to it.
Yeah.
Is it exciting, nerve-wracking when you take one of those songs?
Well, you see, I was I've always been able to sing, but I was a very reluctant singer because I don't know why I was such a reluctant singer. But again, my brother said to me one day, he says, "What's this with the nerves like?" And I said I didn't really know. I don't know, Barry, and maybe subconsciously the family kind of thing that goes on around the music and all of that, maybe it was to do with that. I don't think so, but anyway, he said to me, the next thing he said to me was, he said, "Anne, you've got to remember, when you're singing a song, you're delivering a message. You have to remove yourself personally from the song and just sing it." And that was just huge. I could literally feel the nerves just floating away. Amazing. Really
pretty sound
amazing.
advice. Yeah. So
and
when you choose a song, you put your emotion into it, you identify with something emotionally, and then
I suppose I do,
it's like you step back and
just let
deliver
just,
that.
Just let it happen.
And let it speak.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself changing any parts of the songs that you choose to sing, or?
There are a couple of people in the audience who might
Have I hit a nerve?
You've hit a slight nerve there. I make a song I try to make a song my own, and sometimes some people disagree with me, but let's not go there.
Well, on that, I'll let you lead into your next song.
This is a song myself and some friends of mine, some, as I call them, my song pals, Shona and Claire, who are here tonight. We have a song circle in Milltown, and we gather about once a month and we sing songs. And one night last year, while I was making my album, this woman from Limerick walked in the door and sat down, took out her guitar, and she started to sing this song, and I just went, "Oh my God." So at 7:30 the next morning, I got up and started to learn this song because it's so relevant to today. It's so I won't say much more about it. I'll just sing it. It's called what's it called? Who's Gonna Stand Up? And it's a Neil Young song. Protect the wild, tomorrow's child. Protect the land from the greed of man. Take down the dam, stand up to oil. Protect the plants, renew the soil. Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? Who's gonna say that she's had enough? Who's gonna take on the big machine? Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? This all starts with you and me. This all starts with you and me. Ban fossil fuel, draw the line before we build one more pipeline. Ban fracking now, save the waters, build a had enough? Who's gonna take on the big machine? Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? This all starts with you and me. This all starts with you and me. Dam the dams and save the rivers. Starve the takers and feed the givers. Build a dream and save the world. We're the people known as Earth. Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? Who's gonna say that she's had enough? Who's gonna take on the big machine? Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? This all starts with you and me. This all starts with you and me. This all starts with you and me. This all starts with you and me.
I have to say, I agree with you. That's a pretty fitting song for the world we're in at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, you've mentioned your album, and you mentioned it took you a wee while to get around to it.
Yeah.
So how long after you got handed the guitar did you say, or did someone else say?
Well, the brother again, Barry, said to me one day, because he was just really helpful to me, and like, you know, about phrasing songs and helping me with the chords and stuff. But I also should say that my dear friend, my dear song pal, Doubtson Roloffs, actually taught me. She taught me. I went to her for about a year for lessons, and that was just very cool, just great. And I'm working on it every day.
Yeah.
Every day has to be worked on, getting there slowly but surely.
And was it a run to the studio? Was it I need to put this down? Or was it a very reluctant bringing you backwards by the heel?
Well, I was up with Barry one day and he said to me, I think you might be ready to go in and maybe record a few of the songs. And I said, really? Oh my God. So I went in, and he went into Martin O'Malley's in Milltown Malbay, and a gorgeous place to go into. And I walked in, and I was very kind of, it's not that I was blasé about it, but I was just a bit cool about it. Mm-hmm. And I sat down, and he was sort of putting the microphones in front of me and stuff, and I could feel my shoulder going cold, and it went right down into my hand, and I thought, I'm sorry, you're going to have to excuse me. I nearly had a breakdown. I couldn't believe it. It was gas, but I kind of gave myself a good talking to, and I went back in, and sure, I made the album, and it's been just, and the first time I actually heard my own voice after recording a song, I actually burst into tears, because I never, oh my God, it was such a revelation, because you don't really hear yourself when you're singing, like, you know.
No, and to experience yourself in the way that other people may experience you.
It's just wonderful. It's just really wonderful,
And the choices of song, did you have a short list? Do you have 20 of them that you were going, these mean a lot to me? Or was it a case of these were the right ones?
Yeah, I think the songs just fitted very well together, and it just kind of all happened organically, really. You know,
and in case everybody here doesn't know, there are copies of the album at the back of the room, so you can absolutely go and bring one home and experience it for yourself. So I'm gonna let you introduce your next song.
Okay, my next song is written by a man called Eamon Friel from Derry, and it's a song that I just, when I heard it, I just loved it. I just thought it was a sweet song. It's called Farewell to Mayo. When the school gets out for summer, we get started on a long-awaited journey to the west. I was feeling so excited and light-hearted. I was heading for the place I love the best, and the bus said Sligo on the destination, through the Barnes Gap and Ballantrae. Then we caught another bus at Sligo station, and the Free State writing spelt out Ballina. At Ennis grown the broad Atlantic meant we hadn't far to go, and when we saw the top of Neffin we knew we'd landed in Mayo. God bless Mayo. Friendly hands to take her hand and say she's bigger, hefty arms to hoist her high and hug her hard. Take the road to cross Malina to the river, and the side road takes you back to Garranard. And I knew every windy corner of the little fields below, and every ripple on that river, across the stepping stones I'd go. There in Mayo, when the day came to go back, my heart was bleeding with a grief that seems relentless when you're small. They say every child should have her share of Eden, but a city child needs Eden most of all. Back to the darkening streets of Derry, broken-hearted I must go, far from the splendour and the silence and the wonder of Mayo. God bless Mayo. Farewell Mayo. Mayo. Mayo.
Fabulous. Really fabulous.
Thank you.
I can see the line
Yeah.
that every child
Yeah.
deserves a slice
Yeah.
of Eden. It's a beautiful lyric.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that song kind of fits into what I would have grown up listening to, like a travelling song.
Yes.
Places that have namesakes in it, and you can kind of take that little trip
Yeah.
along the road.
Yeah. I think the it's like the movie going on in your head as you're singing
Yeah.
the song.
Yeah.
You're on the road, you're travelling with
Yeah.
the song, which is beautiful.
And it's a very different kind of song to the two that you would have done beforehand.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again, the choices that you make, they're very unique, they're very individual, and yet they stream beautifully
Yeah,
into
thank
each
you,
other.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you, yeah.
you know, it's so nice to be able to sit here with somebody who you took your time, and it's time well spent to get to the point that you got.
I did take my time
But
already.
it's time well spent
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
know you
Well, I
spend
live my life. I live my life,
Exactly.
you know, and I reared my children, and with my darling husband Davok, and who's here tonight, by the way. Yeah.
and how do they feel? You know, obviously they're
my kids are such
super proud.
What? Where are you going? What? Oh my God, they're flabbergasted. I remember when I launched the album at the Doolin Folk Festival last year, and I remember at one stage I looked down, and all my kids were crying. They were all crying, and I thought, oh my God! I think Davok might have had a tear in his eyes. Well, maybe not. But yeah, it's just great. It's just great.
And you say you launched at Doolin, and you know you're heavily rooted now in Clare.
Oh gosh,
Do you
40,
reckon-
I'm only 40 years in Clare, like yeah.
I'm only
Yeah.
30. I'm still a blowing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still a blowing.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, you know, the rugged nature of the coast and where you live and the sense of community, do you reckon it impacts on?
Hugely. I wouldn't live anywhere else. I just adore Clare. I love West Clare. I love the fact that you're so close to nature. You're so close to the edge of the world. The horizon. You can watch the weather coming in. It's just fabulous.
It's a bit of Eden, really.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the people are just spectacular.
Yeah, you spoke about your singer circle.
Yeah.
How often do you meet? How
Well,
has that been on your journey along the road?
It meets once a month now. Unfortunately, because I'm slightly busy, I don't often get to go.
It's a good complaint.
But
It's a good complaint.
I love it when I do, and it's just very ordinary. We just sit in a circle and we sing songs and we drink tea and we laugh and have the crack, and
Sounds like
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
sounds like
yeah,
heaven.
yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so much music in Clare. Clare is just, it's just so rich.
Yeah.
rich.
I think that's one of the reasons we're here, to showcase it, because
Exactly.
it's often forgotten and it's
Yeah.
often left behind,
Yeah.
or lost in some of the more
Yeah.
popular.
Well, yeah, the genres of music.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, in traditional music now, it is huge, as we all know,
Yeah.
in Clare. But there are so many great singer-songwriters out there,
Yeah.
and singers of
Yeah.
songs, and you know.
And the nuances that they're pulled in, even into trad or out of trad, and how they're mixed with other types of music. I think that's something we do differently here.
Yes, yes.
You know, that I haven't seen it in many other places,
Yeah.
and I think you're a shining example of it. I really do.
Gosh,
I think it's lovely.
Thank you.
I really do.
Yeah.
Do you want to lead in next
Will I go
song?
another one?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Why would we make you stop?
This song is. I just learned it recently. It's it's written. I was watching the telly one night, as you do, and you know the way you flick around the telly before you go to bed in case you're missing anything. And I came upon the BBC Two, Jules Holland, and there was this young woman. Her name is Courtney Marie Andrews. She's about 23 or 24 years of age, and she's from Phoenix, Arizona, and there she is singing this song, and I was just spellbound. And this is one of the songs that was easy to learn. It just got me right in the heart straight away, and it just speaks to me. And I'll just shut up now and sing it for you. It's called Honest Life. Okay. All I ever wanted is an honest life, to be the person that I really am inside, to tell you all the things I did that night. Sometimes it isn't easy to live an honest life. All I ever needed was a little more time to grow, time to understand the things that I know, to listen to you lovingly instead of getting up to go. Some people take a little more time to grow. Right when you have it all figured out, life throws you another doubt. But my head's up high, I've got nothing but time to work at living an honest life. All I ever asked for was a way to understand all of life's lessons the best way I can. How to be honest, how to be wise, and how to be a good friend. Some things take a lifetime to fully understand. Right when you have it all figured out, life throws you another doubt. But my head's up high, I've got nothing but time to work at living an honest life. My head's up high, I've got nothing but time to work at living an honest life.
spoken to you about the past, how you ended up here.
Yeah.
And we've chatted about what you're doing now. So what's next? What's the next adventure?
Jamie. Gosh, there's a question now. The hope that I wake up in the morning.
It's a good one.
In order to go out and sing more songs. That's really all I want to
Excellent.
do. I just want to keep singing, yeah.
And are you going to travel around? Are you going to?
Well, I'll do what I'm able for, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm no chicken like, you know, I'm in my 70th year, believe it or not. I can't even believe I'm saying that, because I'm actually only 26. But I'll do it for as long as I can, and I just such a privilege to be doing what I'm doing. It's great.
And aside from here and right now, where has been your favourite or most inspirational place to stand up and sing?
Oh gosh.
You know, maybe it's the first time that you stood in front of a group of people you didn't know.
I think when I launched my album, that was so terrifying. I was never so terrified in my entire. But I have to tell. Can I tell you a little story about?
I would love to hear it.
So I go up anyway. The whole way up, I kept thinking to myself, Anne, please remember to smile. Please remember to smile. Please remember to smile, because I was so nervous. Anyway, I got there. And before I went out on the stage, Barry said to me, because Barry accompanied me on that day, and he said to me, he says, I just want to tell you in case you get a fright, but Bernadette Devlin is in the audience. And oh my God, I mean, Bernadette Devlin, some people actually said to me, who's Bernadette Devlin? Bernadette Devlin to me is just a most amazing woman, Irish woman, and I just love her, and I was so happy that she was there. But I was very happy that everybody else was there as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just
the bonus.
It was just a beautiful thing, really beautiful thing, and the people were so receptive, and it was just marvellous. It really was, yeah. So now,
a good feeling to stand there.
amazing.
And the mountain climbed.
Yeah, it sure did, yeah.
Yeah.
Got up the mountain, I got up to the top of the mountain, I think. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I think every time you scale a new peak, you go, I could go a little bit further.
You know, yeah.
I could do a bit more.
yeah. So, will I lead into my
I think
final
so,
song? Yeah. I'm also going to read a poem, so I'm not quite finished yet. This song is a Janice Ian song, and it kind of speaks for itself, and it kind of tells the story of what's happening to me at the moment. See these lines on my face, they're a map of where I've been, and the deeper they are traced, the deeper life has settled in. How do we survive, living out our lives? And I wouldn't trade a line, make it smooth and fine, or pretend that time stands still. I want to rest my soul here where it can grow without fear. Another line, another year, and I'm still standing here. See these marks on my skin, they're the lyric of my life. Every story I begin means another ends in sight. Only lovers understand, skin just covers who I am. And I wouldn't trade a line, make it smooth and fine, or pretend that time stands still. I want to rest my soul here where it can grow without fear. Another line, another year, and I'm still standing here. See the bruises, see the scars, hieroglyphs that tell the tale. You can read them in the dark, through your fingertips like braille. And I wouldn't trade a line, make it smooth and fine, or pretend that time stands still. I want to rest my soul here where it can grow without fear. Another line, another year, and I'm still standing here. another line, another year, and I'm still standing here. Thank you.
Like a perfect song to end your singing portion.
Thank
of
you,
the
thank you
evening.
so much.
No, it's been absolutely wonderful. I'm delighted that Laura asked me to come and have a chat with you.
Brilliant.
And you know, share the little bit that I got to know about you over the past couple of weeks with
Thanks,
with
Orla.
other people who
Thank
might
you
not
so
know.
much. Yeah.
It's been really lovely.
Thank
and
you.
I think when you're in a situation like this, in this sort of a setting, you get to see a little bit more of a person that you maybe wouldn't have in a larger place. And I think it's been really valuable. And thank you for letting us all chime in a little bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's been really lovely. And I'm going to let you read your poem.
Okay, this is I came across this book of poetry just 2 weeks ago. The poems are written by a woman called Anne Casey. I knew Anne Casey when she was a child. She's from Quilty in Quilty back in West Clare, and I knew her mother very well. And she wrote this poem, and I would just really love to share it with you. It's called In Memoriam to The Draper by Anne Casey. The town is dead, nothing but the wind howling down Main Street and a calf bawling outside the fiddlers. My mother's words, not mine, in a letter kept in a drawer these long years. She had a way with words, my mother. That's why they came, the faithful of her following, leaning into her over the counter for an encouraging word or the promise of a novena. Long before we had local radio, our town had my mother, harbinger of the death notices and the funeral arrangements, bestower of colloquial wisdom, bearer of news on all things great and small. Who was home and who hadn't come? Who had got the civil service job? And by what bit of pull? The councillor's niece, smug in her new navy suit, oblivious to the circulating countersuit. Would you ever think of coming home? Her words would catch me unawares, lips poised at the edge of a steaming mug, igniting a spitfire of resentment each time, then draping me for days. I'd wear it like a horsehair shirt all the way back, until the sunshine and the hustle had worn it threadbare. This extra bit of baggage in every emigrant's case, their mother's broken heart. I never thought to ask her, would you want me to? So I could look out at the rain circumnavigating the empty street and shiver at the wind whipping in under the door. I don't miss that question now. On my annual pilgrimage home, my father never asks it. Like me, I know he feels it, hanging in the air alongside her absence. I miss my mother and her way with words.
I'd love to welcome Greenshine to West of the Wake.
Thanks for having us.
I'll let you introduce yourselves, I suppose, first off.
Okay, I'm Mary Green.
I'm Ellie Shine.
And I'm Noel Shine.
We're related by marriage and by birth.
Yes.
So, can you tell me a little bit about yourselves? You've obviously been known each other for a little while. So, how did you end up going out and gigging and making music together in a public forum and not just in the living room?
Well, myself and Noel met in 1983 or 84. We were introduced by a mutual friend called Darby Crowley. I was up for the Cork Folk Festival. So Noel came down playing. We used to have a pub in Waterford called the Anchor in Dunmore East, the Anchor Bar. And Noel came down to play, and he made me play and sing, and then kidnapped me after the summer and brought me to Cork.
That's a fantastic little story.
So we've been there ever since.
Kidnapping
Yes.
bar in Dunmore East.
Yeah. He was very manly.
Oh, excellent. Are you cringing yet, Ellie?
I'm okay so far.
You're used to it?
I'm hanging in there.
I don't like that was very manly.
What happened? That slight on you. I think it's always great to talk to a family group, because you always get those little
Yeah.
nuances and those ins. It's great
The
fun.
intimate details.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we've been playing for years, traveling for years. Ellie and her sister came along, and then, I mean, they, you know, both of the girls are singing. Like we've got recordings of Ellie singing Elvis songs when she was 3 or something.
Yeah, first recording was
Suspicious Mind.
Caught in a Trap.
Yeah.
Oh, Caught in a Trap, yeah.
And she
Very good.
did her own backing vocals on a separate channel.
That's some pretty.
It's a
Was it-
skill.
that was great.
That's amazing.
Okay.
For a 3-year-old.
Yeah, the technical knowledge alone.
Yes, I know. When to go.
So you obviously had music in the house all of the time.
Yeah, I think I was probably singing before I was speaking, was I? Or
Yes,
Yeah,
making
true.
some sort of noise.
In tune.
And then I'd pick up instruments and Dad would show me little bits, and then progressed to when I was telling you earlier on, and when I was 12 years old, he brought home a ukulele and I took to that, and then that was when I was about 12, and then from then on started adding little songs into the set here and there, and then I'd come on for the second half, and then I was there for the whole set by the time I was 15 or 16 probably. So that's how I entered into the equation.
When Ellie was very young, she got piano lessons for about a year or so. And the teacher was insisting that she learn to read music. And Ellie couldn't understand why you had to read it if you knew it already in your head. After hearing it once, like which she could do and still
start.
can do, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you do all the wonderful things that you do, and I just want to say thank you so much for making the trek all the way from Cork and back down. And it's been really lovely meeting you, and I look forward to hearing what you have to offer. And I'm going to go and take a seat and say thank you very much.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the chat. We started off with a song called Shadow and Sun, and Noel Shine and I wrote this one night when Ellie and her sister Sadie were out on 2 different sleeps over, and we decided that we'd make the most of the time alone by writing a song. All the world is shadow and sun, but mostly now since you've been gone. The sun's inclined to hide its face, my friend. Gone behind the clouds till you come again. All the days an empty room, only dusty corners and a broken moon to sweep away the minutes as they run, till you're back to fill the whole place with sun. I while away the hours as they come along, sleep away the darkness till it's done, knowing that we're both beneath the golden moon, same stars above us in the sky. While away the hours as they come along, sleep away the darkness till it's done, stars above us in the sky. All the world is shadow sun, mostly now since you've been gone. The sun's inclined to hide its face, my friend. Gone behind the clouds till you come again. Gone behind the clouds till you come again. Gone behind the clouds till you come again.
I'm going to ask you about the songs that you're going to do tonight, because we'll finish up this portion and you guys will have free reign. So I know, again, some of the songs that you've chosen are quite different, but one that came out to me when I spoke earlier on with the collective, with Greenshine, and I said to them, well, obviously I Googled you, which is the first thing you have to do. And I saw the story of one song in particular, and it was the story of Kurt Cobain coming to Ireland. And we actually touched on it earlier, and I'd love if you'd share that, where it came from with the listeners.
Yeah, it started out, I was just sitting in front of the computer one day and I started to listen to Nirvana. And the way you do on the internet, it led from one thing led to the other. And I found this interview with a great man called Desi Blair, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. And Desi was primarily, first of all, he was a music fan of all types of music, but he was also a great promoter. And he was very young at the time, 1991. He was promoting Sonic Youth, were coming to do a tour around Europe. And the guy who was bringing Sonic Youth said, well, okay, you can have Sonic Youth if you take the other band. And Desi was saying, oh God, who's this now? And he said, okay, who are they? And he said, they're great. He said, they're very, very good now. He said, they're a young band from Seattle, and they're called Nirvana, and they're going to be huge. So Desi said, grand, and he took them on board, and so they arrived, and we just brought out a single of it, and I found this beautiful photograph online of Kurt Cobain standing on one leg on a bollard in Cork City, outside the back entrance of Sir Henry's, where they were going to play. But anyway, as it went on, they had no money, they were freezing cold and starving, and Desi said, go and get yourselves a meal, but bring me back the receipt, okay, because I need the receipt. And when the receipt came back, the lads were after ordering 4 bottles of wine and a bowl of tortilla chips. That was their dinner. But the way you do, I kept on following the story along, and I found this little clip of an interview. Subsequent to that, he went back to America and he was doing an interview, and he was talking about that trip, which is fascinating, And he said that he was walking around Cork all day long and he had tears in his eyes. He was walking around with his friend, and he said, you can ask my friend, I had tears in my eyes all day and I couldn't figure out what it was. And he said, I never felt more spiritual in my life. So when he went back to the States, he started to research his ancestry, and where were they from? Only Cork. So I just thought the whole thing, it started out being funny, with the tortilla chips and the lads freezing, and then it went into this whole other thing, his search for roots, because he always came across to me as a lad who was a bit at sea, and so it kind of struck me what might have happened if he'd spent a bit of time in Ireland. Maybe things might have worked out a little bit differently. Yeah. Who knows,
Yeah, well, I just felt it was such a lovely story behind the song, that when you have an ear to a song, having a little bit of a scale behind it, it can anchor you into that moment.
Absolutely, yeah, and people really, really respond to that song live, they really do.
Well, it resonated with me when I did the Google.
The next song we're going to do is City of Dreams, which is our our story of Kurt Cobain gracing the city of Cork with his presence and coming back home, if briefly, to the land of his ancestors. And Ellie's going to sing it for you.
This dead air, now you're God knows where. Somewhere I hope you're happy anyhow. The music of the gods, the stars around your head, the open arms, the final resting bed, the darkness of the moon, the embracing of the night, the leaving behind, heading towards the light, never going back, always pressing on, the reaching of the end, to finally belong. The paper's lines the boy described, hungry, broke, introvert, polite, the nacho cheese, the red, red wine, the tears of recognition in his eyes, the Irish sense of history behind, the people of the South on the family tree, the linking of the chain from the city of rain, the port of missing men, to the river called the Lee. And I wonder what you might have found if you'd stayed on southern ground. Would your heart have found a home? Would two rivers full tide deep have fed your soul on Patrick Street? Understand now what you meant, what it means. This meeting face to face with your history and race, the things of which you're made, the molecules and genes. Now you rest in peace in your city of dreams, you're home and clean. In your city of dreams, in your city of dreams. Ooh, ooh. Thanks very much.
I believe you're a multi-instrumentalist, so
well, I tinker with a lot of things, all right, especially in the studio because it's easy, you know, to you can keep playing it until you get it right, kind of thing, like. But I don't carry around a huge amount of things because we've no room in the car. So
what do you find is most at home in your hand?
Probably guitar or mandolin, or whistle. Well, I started as a whistle player when I was when I was a kid, like, and I'd be very comfortable with that. But we don't use it in the gigs much anymore. It's not great on the original songs.
Well, it's it's a bone of contention because I really love Noel Shine's whistle playing and he just won't play the bloody thing. You know?
I will play.
Terrible, like.
So maybe this might be motivation.
I play it on the recordings.
Yeah, he plays on the recordings. He won't play it out.
And I play a few other things on the recordings, which will be mainly guitars of different varieties, you know,
Yeah.
of electric or acoustic or slide guitar or something like that, you know, one or other. And then things like mandolins, and I have a bouzouki and stuff. So they're all kind of related anyway.
Yeah.
You played the ocarina on one
I played the ocarina.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to ask, what is an ocarina?
Ocarina is a little fluty thing. It was a little round thing with holes.
South American.
No, I think it's Chinese originally, actually.
it?
I think it started in China.
Looks like a scarab or something.
Yeah,
But we were
roundy thing.
the last time we were making an album, we did a song which we're doing tonight, a Cyril Tawney song called Sammy's Bar, and we had it done, and we were listening to it, and I had a beautiful piece of guitar on it for the break in the middle, and I played it for the girls, and they said, "Oh no, that's too cheerful. You can take that out."
When you hear the song, you'll understand.
Then I said, "What am I going to put in?" So I can't think of anything else. I tried the guitar, and it sounds lovely to me, and they said, "No, it's too cheerful. The song is too sad." So it was in the key of B flat anyway, and where I was sitting at home, I looked up and there was an ocarina which had been there for probably 20 years, I'd
No,
say.
it wasn't because I bought
Or
it for as
15
a Christmas present for you.
Long time ago.
Yeah, about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah.
And I took it down and it was in the key of B flat. And I blew it and they said, that's it.
Make that sound again.
So I went upstairs and to the little studio we have and I put the brake on with the ocarina and it worked.
Okay.
That's the only time I've ever recorded the ocarina. This is the Cyril Tawney song that we were speaking about earlier on. And it's a song called Sammy's Bar. This is written in the form of a sea shanty and it has a couple of lines that recur. And one of them is, "Hey, the last boat's a-leavin'," because they were in a submarine over there in the late 50s and early 60s and they used to drink in this bar called Sammy's Bar. And a boat went back to the submarine each night at a specific time and the call was, "Hey, the last boat's leaving." But if you didn't want to go on that boat and you wanted to stay on in the pub for the night, then you had to get a thing called a Daiso, which was a water taxi. So the other line that recurs is, "Call away the Daiso," which means I'm staying in the pub, leave me alone. And there's a mention in it of a Yankee car, because they had these big American cars for hire on the island, luxury vehicles, but you had to have the dosh to be able to hire one. And the ordinary Joe Soaps didn't have the money, so it's only the officers and the Navy had enough money to hire these cars. So anyway, it's a good story. It's the Ballad of Sammy's Bar. I went down to Sammy's Bar. Hey, the last boat's leaving by the shore of Pieta. Call away the Daiso. And my real love, she was there. Hey, the last boat's leaving. There was sand all in her hair. Call away the Daiso. How did sand get in your hair? Hey, the last boat's leaving. Darling Johnny put it there. Call away the Daiso. Been with Johnny all the day. Hey, the last boat's leaving down at Intafea Bay. Call away the Daiso. He's a better man by far. Hey, the last 'cause he has a Yankee card. Call away the dice, oh. I went out from Sammy's bar, hey, the last boat to leave them, had to hire a Yankee car. Call away the dice, oh. 14 days I drank no wine, hey, the last boat to leave them, saving for that love of mine. Call away the dice, oh. Then one day in Paulus Square, hey, the last boat's leaving, at the paper I did stare. Call away the dice, oh. Johnny tried a hairpin bend, hey, the last boat's leaving, for my love that was the end. Call away the dice, oh. Going back to Sammy's bar, hey, the last boat's leaving, I don't need no Yankee car. Call away the dice, oh. Call away the dice, oh.
Another thing I saw is that you're quite active. You're all over the place. You're in Sligo. You're flying all over the place, all over the country. How do you find that? You know, marrying family life, other work life, and then travelling and being part of this beautiful music community.
That's a break. It really is.
Yeah.
A chance to play a few
playing,
songs.
Playing is the most enjoyable part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
you have to get there and get back, so that's okay too. We're usually in good form on the way home because the gigs have been very good of late, especially since Ellie joined us. She's
Yeah.
added a dimension that we didn't have.
Yeah. But we're
And,
also more choosy, I think, when
Yeah, and
Ellie
we're
joined
doing
us.
a nicer type
Yeah.
of gig now lately as well. Yeah,
Yeah, we made a decision when Ellie joined, because we said, like, this girl is good and she shouldn't be horsing it out in pubs, you know.
Yeah.
So we made a very conscious decision to almost never play somewhere where somebody doesn't throw a few bob to hear us.
Yeah.
Now we do occasional ones, like we're doing one, the Spree Festival in Waterford,
Fantastic.
in a pub that we've been doing for years, and it's complete bedlam.
Yeah.
And it'll be great crack.
Yeah.
Jordan's, we've been doing it for yonks. And
beautiful
myself and Noel
Yeah, it's
started
good.
doing
It's
it,
good
you know.
fun. Yeah.
But by and large, we're interested in people paying a few bob, coming in, sitting down, listening, and we prefer to play to 5 that are doing that than 150 and get a load of money from someone who's promoting it. You know, it's a different thing when people come in and they give some respect to the music, you know.
Yeah. I think that there's a massive movement at the moment for a respect for people who have an art, be it, you know, sculpture or painting or musicians, or their voice, their instruments, that it needs to be reciprocal. You know, you're pouring out this energy and it needs to be restored almost by the people who are watching it. And so I feel situations like this are lovely to not just get exposure and to touch a few extra people, but to feed your music soul, I suppose.
Oh, definitely,
and to bring it back out.
Definitely.
And a lot of people don't want to go to pubs to hear music. They want to go to places where they can listen uninterrupted.
The next song we're going to do, it's a fairly old song actually. It was written when the girls were still quite young, although Sadie was old enough to be going to her first disco, as they were known in those days. And I was thinking back to my time in Waterford as a teenager, going out to my first discos and hoping that he'd be there. He would change from disco to disco, like. But so I wrote this song. It's about first love and just that first excitement of the innocent excitement of your first love. And it's called Sea of Hearts. Another Saturday night, and you're dressed up to the nines. Get there just before the midnight rush comes down. You step into the flashing lights, beats pulsing in your blood. Everybody's an actor, everybody's trying to be cool. Feel your body taken over by the beats, and move to the rhythm of the longing and the heat. You feel like you're having fun, but you're really marking time, secretly searching to catch that someone's eye. And oh, don't you know this could be the night, the start of something fine. Love could find us on a crowded dance floor when the music quietens down. The night's getting older, still he hasn't made his move. Suddenly his hands in yours, he leads you to the floor. You're swaying in a sea of hearts, all reaching out for love. Could this be the night you're dreaming of? Could this be the night you're dreaming of? Thanks a lot. Ellie's going to do a song called The Girl in the Lavender Dress for you now. Thank you, Anne.
Thanks, Anne.
This is a single from an album of the same name that we brought out in the summer of 2016. And it was written when she was only about 5 or 6 years old, I think. And it's a great treat to see her all grown up and singing it now. And I think it's a song about just freedom and optimism and all that good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Gathering flowers. She doesn't care about numbers or notice the hours. She feels the wind on her face, sees the grass start to move. She's floating away, she's finding the groove. All through the night and all through the day, the girl in the lavender dress is making her way. She knows she's destiny's playmate, mischievous child. She wants to believe, the world wants to be kind. She hears the hum of the city rumbling low. She's got a backpack of wishes, she's ready to go. She has a feeling inside her of love being born. The moon's on its back in the arms of the morning. All through the night and all through the day, the girl in the lavender dress is making her way. She knows she's destiny's playmate and mischievous child. She wants to believe, the world wants to be kind. The sweet voice of fortune is drifting from over the hill. It says, I know you can open tomorrow, I hope that you will. The world will be laid out before you if you take the chance. The forces of grace are conspiring to play while you dance, while you dance.